Regarding great performers, Michael J. Fox is a name that immediately evokes awe, not only because of his classic roles but also because of his grace, wit, and courage while having Parkinson's disease. However, despite his impressive legacy and age of 64, Fox recently made headlines for revealing something shocking and brutally honest: he doesn't want someone to attend his funeral. For what reason and by whom? This narrative is more deeper than you might think, so stay tuned. For more than 40 years, Michael Fox has made people laugh and feel things. There was something unique about him from the moment he first on our TV screens as Alex P. Catan in Family Ties. He was more than simply another attractive Hollywood star. You felt as though you knew him personally because of his timing, charm, and that unique characteristic that made him seem like your brother, friend, or that popular high school man. Fox, who was born on June 9, 1961, in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, wasn't a celebrity at first. He was a young child from a military family that traveled frequently. Because his father was a career soldier, the Fox family seldom resided in one location for very long. Growing up in several Canadian towns, Michael was always the new kid and never really settled down. Perhaps this is why he was so adept at relating to others. It's easy to make friends when you're the outsider all the time. At the age of 15, he left high school to pursue acting. Consider that for a moment. 15 years old. And he was willing to stake everything on his convictions about what he wanted to do with his life. His parents believed him to be insane. What parent, of course, wants their adolescent to quit school in order to pursue a dream that is nearly impossible to achieve? However, Fox arrived in Los Angeles with very little money, subsisting on optimism and craft food. He didn't have enough money to buy furniture. He slept with a phone book as a cushion and a mattress on the floor. He did anything he could, including guest appearances and small roles. He struggled for years by going to auditions, getting turned down, and then trying again. When Family Ties was released in 1982, everything abruptly altered. Michael Fox gained widespread recognition with Family Ties, but his immortality came from Back to the Future. This is a bizarre fact. He nearly lost out on the position. Before determining it wasn't working, the producers filmed for a few weeks with Eric Stoltz in the original Marty McFly role. Fox, who was filming Family Ties at the time, was phoned when Stoltz was sacked. Fox's scheduling went haywire. He would run over to the Back to the Future set and film all night after filming Family Ties throughout the day. He was running on youth, adrenaline, and the sheer thrill of being in what he knew would be something exceptional, and he was only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep every night. Back to the Future became the highest-grossing movie of 1985 when it was released. All of a sudden, Michael Fox was more than simply an actor. He was a famous actor. An honest-to-God film star. Such an actor that his name alone could open a movie. He was all around. Awards events, discussion programs, and magazine covers. The truth is that he dated the actress Nancy McCann. He was young, attractive, prosperous, and seemed to be unstoppable. The mid-1980s was the time. And Michael Fox was most likely on your bedroom wall if you were a teenage girl or male. Since Teen Wolf and Back to the Future were released in the same summer, Fox had 2 successful films showing simultaneously. Bright Lights, Big City, Light of Day, and The Secret of My Success were his subsequent works. Hollywood couldn't get enough of Fox since he was on a roll, even though not all of them were enormous hits. The 1989 and 1990 Back to the Future sequels solidify his reputation. Fox had demonstrated his ability to tackle comedy, drama, romance, science fiction, and pretty much anything else at this time. He was dependable, adaptable, and well-liked by crowds. Theaters adored him. He was a pleasure to work with for directors. It was all his. Here's the thing about life, though. It is unconcerned with your plans. It makes no difference if you're well-known, wealthy, or adored by millions. Anybody can experience bad things at any time. Michael Fox was 29 in 1991. In 1988, he married Tracy Pollan, whom he had met on the set of Family Ties. Sam, a son, was their first kid and had just arrived. Fox had a successful career. The future seemed promising. Then he observed an oddity. He was twitching his left pinky finger. Just a tiny, scarcely perceptible vibration. It must have been fatigue or stress. After all, he was working non-stop. The twitching persisted, though. It worsened. He began to shake his hands. He struggled to keep it under control. He went to the doctor with the expectation that it would be nothing severe, perhaps just a pinched nerve or overwork. The doctor, however, looked at him after a battery of tests and stated, "You have Parkinson's disease." Parkinson's? An old person's disease? Something that happened to your grandparents, not to 29-year-old movie stars at the height of their careers. At first, Fox didn't believe it. He asked for second, third, and fourth opinions, but all of the doctors gave the same response. He suffered from an uncommon kind of Parkinson's disease that affects people under 50 years old, youthful onset. It would gradually take away his ability to control his movements and was progressive and incurable. Fox was thrown into a tailspin by the diagnosis. He began drinking excessively in an attempt to self-medicate and numb the sadness, rage, and fear for the life he believed he would lead. He had the option to remain silent about it indefinitely and endure the pain in silence, but the pressure of concealing it was killing him. For 7 years, Fox kept his diagnosis a secret from everyone beyond his close relatives. He kept on his career, appearing in films and television series while concealing the tremors that were becoming more and more difficult to manage. He came up with ways to conceal his ailments. He would grip something or put his trembling hand in his pocket. In order to minimize tremors while filming, he would meticulously time the timing of his medicine. In order to cover up the trembling, he would modify his acting technique and use gestures. In some respects, feigning health while he was collapsing on the inside was the performance of his life. He played the talkative deputy mayor of New York City, Mike Flighty, in the television series Spin City, which debuted in 1996. He had to be fast-paced, physically fit, and full of energy for the part. It was tiring, and it was becoming more difficult to conceal Parkinson's. Occasionally, his co-stars would detect the vibrations in between takes. However, Fox would dismiss it, joke, and shift the conversation. The drinking continued to worsen. Fox has been forthright about this in both his books and interviews. In order to deal with the awareness that his body was failing him, he was taking to ease the tremors and take the edge off. He worked. He was secretly destroying himself, but he never skipped work or arrived intoxicated. Through it all, his wife, Tracy Pollan, supported him. This was the time when they had 3 additional children. Esme was born in 2001, while twins Aquina and Skylar were born in 1995. According to Fox, his family was his inspiration to battle and what kept him going. Fox concluded he could no longer hide in 1998. In an appearance with Barbara Walters, he revealed his diagnosis to the public, and the reaction was enormous. He was not shunned or pitted by others. They all came together in support of him. They were impressed by his bravery, integrity, and refusal to let the illness define him. His co-stars wished him a heartfelt farewell as he left Spin City in 2000. The show devoted an episode to Fox's departure, and Charlie Sheen assumed the lead role. An era came to an end. Fox wasn't done with Hollywood, though. He appeared as a guest on television programs like The Good Wife, Boston Legal, Scrubs, and Rescue Me, frequently portraying himself or characters who are coping with Parkinson's disease. He demonstrated to the world that despite his tremors, medication, and physical restrictions, he could still perform and add something unique to a job. Parkinson's disease is not like a broken bone that gets better or a cold that goes away. It's a continuous companion that demands care all the time. Fox has characterized it as enigmatic and erratic. There are good days and bad days. The symptoms can be controllable at times or overwhelming at others. The most obvious sign is tremors, but they are by no means the only one. Because Parkinson's disease impairs balance, it's simple to trip and fall. It sometimes makes speech difficult to understand. The muscles become tight as a result, making movement difficult and slow. Sleep, mood, memory, and cognition may all be impacted. Fox takes medicine to control the symptoms, but the drug itself has negative effects. The main medication used to treat Parkinson's disease, levodopa, can result in dyskinesia, which are jerky, involuntary movements that can be just as upsetting as tremors. Trying to determine the ideal dosage and timing to optimize the good hours and reduce the bad ones is a never-ending balancing act. Fox has undergone several operations over the years, including spine surgery to remove a tumor that was momentarily impairing his ability to walk. He suffered fractures from falls. He has faced setbacks, problems, and infections. He has always fought his way back. Additionally, he had to give up things he loved. His guitar skills have deteriorated. His digits are uncooperative. He has difficulty typing. Simple things like tying shoes, cutting food, and buttoning shirts that most people don't think about take focus and effort. However, Fox hasn't allowed the illness to take over his life. He is still able to laugh. His intelligence is still as sharp as ever. Finding a cure for Parkinson's disease is still his objective, and he still has his friends and family. In the battle against Parkinson's disease, the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research has emerged as a key player. It is the biggest nonprofit Parkinson's research funding organization in the world, having supported more than $1.5 billion in research since its establishment in 2000. Fox put the same level of effort into the work that he used to put into his acting. He argued for more financing for medical research, including the contentious stem cell study, in a congressional testimony. Using his fame to increase awareness and funds, he became the spokesperson for Parkinson's disease. Studies on Parkinson's disease's genetic causes, possible cures, and ways to improve the quality of life for those who have the condition have all been supported by the foundation. Fox is actively involved in the organization's work, not only as a spokesperson but also as a person who is knowledgeable about the research, challenges conventional wisdom, and demands outcomes. Lucky Man, a memoir, Always Looking Up, The Adventures of an Incurable Optimist, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Future, and No Time Like the Future are just a few of the works he has written about his experiences with Parkinson's. An Optimist Thinks About Death. The books are humorous, honest, and occasionally tragic. They provide a glimpse into the challenges of juggling humor and hope while dealing with a chronic illness. Fox has developed strong relations with numerous Hollywood figures throughout the course of his career. Some of these connections have endured for decades, despite his illness's difficulties and the highs and lows of celebrity. He became lifelong friends with Christopher Lloyd, his co-star in Back to the Future. Over the years, the two have gotten back together several times for charitable events and anniversary celebrations. Fox's bravery and tenacity have been poignantly described by Lloyd, and their love for one another is evident anytime they are together. Many of Fox's pals, such as Michael Gross, who portrayed his TV parents, and Meredith Baxter, remained close with him. All of them have talked on how much they gained from working with Fox and how skilled and professional he was even as a young actor. Out of Spin City. Fox grew close to a number of the cast members. Even on days when he was obviously having difficulties, they have discussed how Fox never complained about his illness, never used it as an excuse, and always brought his A-game to work. However, friendships in Hollywood can be difficult. They frequently rely on proximity. Working together brings you closer, but once the job is over, you start to drift apart. Like everyone else in the business, Fox has encountered this. Friendships don't always last, that's just the way show business works. Fox has recently been discussing mortality and his funeral wishes more candidly in interviews promoting his work and talking about his life with Parkinson's. Some may find this disturbing, but for someone who has had a progressive illness for more than 30 years, contemplating the end isn't gloomy. It is useful. Fox's style of humor has always been grim, the kind that helps people get through tough times. And as usual, he has made lighthearted remarks and jokes about the topic of his own funeral. Speaking in his usual lighthearted manner, Fox claims that he has considered who he would want to attend his funeral and, more amusingly, who he would prefer to stay at home. He has made fun of some Hollywood figures who have the ability to completely transform a somber event. Johnny Depp was apparently mentioned in these lighthearted exchanges. Fox stated that he has nothing personal against Depp. However, Fox has made light of the possibility that Johnny Depp's erratic behavior and propensity for illness may make a quiet, dignified farewell into a spectacle. Depp is renowned for his quirky demeanor, distinct sense of style, and propensity to create drama wherever he goes. Occasionally on purpose, occasionally not. In a mocking reference to his burial, Fox has suggested that Depp might arrive dressed as Jack Sparrow, bring a guitar and begin to perform, or in some other way turn the occasion into one about him rather than saying farewell to Fox. It's all spoken in a loving and humorous manner, similar to how old friends might make jokes about one another. It does have a kernel of truth, though. Fox wants his funeral to be dramatic, private, and low-key. It should not turn into a media circus or a Hollywood production, in his opinion. His preference is for simplicity. In passing, Fox has also brought up George Clooney. Despite his talent and charm, Clooney tends to be the focus of attention wherever he goes. He's inherently charming, slick, and polished. Characteristics that make him an excellent actor and a captivating presence, but they also have the potential to change the funeral's atmosphere from the intimacy Fox seeks. Fox made a joke that if Clooney attended his funeral, all the women would be staring at Clooney rather than Fox. Clooney would be the center of attention. Clooney would be the subject of the subsequent discussions. It would end up being George Clooney's funeral instead of Michael J. Fox's. All of this is being expressed in jest, with no genuine hatred. Over the years, Fox and Clooney have encountered each other numerous times, and they have mutual respect. However, Fox makes the humorous point that he wants his funeral to be about sincere feeling and introspection rather than who attended or what they were wearing. Putting the jokes aside, Fox expresses a desire for simplicity and serenity when discussing his passing. Throughout his adult life, he has been in the spotlight, juggling the pressures of celebrity, media criticism, and fan expectations. He wants something unusual for his farewell. He has stated, "One day, I'd like to just not wake up. It would be awesome. Only a peaceful departure, ideally when his loved ones are there, without any drama, agonizing decline, or lengthy farewell." His burial should not be a lavish Hollywood event attended by hundreds of people. Everyone was acting out their sadness for the cameras while paparazzi were outside. He's looking for something tiny and private. The folks who truly knew and loved him outside of the spotlight were his close family and sincere friends. Additionally, Fox has made jokes about not wanting anyone to attend his funeral out of duty. Because they want to be seen, because they feel it would seem terrible, or because they believe they should, he doesn't want industry people to show up. He is looking for folks who truly care about him and will truly miss him. It makes sense. Fox has worked in a field for more than 40 years where people are nice to your face but forget your name the moment you're no longer valuable, and where looks are more important than substance. He is aware of the distinction between true friends and pals from Hollywood. He also wants only the actual ones for his funeral. Fox has made light of the people he is humorously excluding from his funeral, but he has also made it apparent who he does want there. Naturally, his wife Tracy is at the top. Since their 1988 marriage, she has supported him through every challenge. The diagnoses, hardships, difficult periods, and healings. They have persevered through challenges that would have ended most marriages, and their bond has grown stronger. Clearly, this includes his 4 children. Sam was born in 1989. His youngest daughter, Esme, was born in 2001. His twin girls, Aquina and Skylar, were born in 1995. According to Fox, one of the biggest pleasures of his life has been becoming a parent, and seeing his kids grow up has inspired him to keep going. The few friends who have supported him throughout the years are the ones he wants. The folks who visit him without cameras or fuss, who call him just to see how he's doing, and who treat him more like Michael the person than Michael J. Fox the celebrity. He is looking for those from his foundation who have fought alongside him in the battle against Parkinson's disease and who are as passionate about finding a cure as he is about assisting others who are affected by the illness. The most important thing to him is that it be quiet. No cries and sobs, no theatrical eulogies, no performance mourning, just a silent celebration of a life lived, struggles faced, and now, at last, rest. Michael J. Fox is still an inspiration as he enters what he refers to as the back nine of his life. He is currently producing a new documentary about his life and the work of his foundation. Though not as often as before, he occasionally appears in public. He still supports research and funding, and he considers his burial and death with a certain amount of realistic acceptance rather than terror. Death is not an enemy after 33 years of Parkinson's disease. It's only the conclusion of a lengthy trip. He has journeyed with more bravery than most of us would ever need to call upon.